Welcome viewers across the world, fellow Biafrans and lovers of freedom. Once again, I'm this platform to bring you updates on what is happening in the contraption called Nigeria. Today, you know, is a day that they say they were going to protest for their bad government. Even when they know that the protest is not going to end the problem, and protest is never the solution. They have come again today to risk their life. I want to give you some updates on the videos that we gather from their so-called protests. What is going on out there? It is very important that we pay attention. We are not part of it. Biafrans are sitting at home. Biafrans are staying away from this nonsense they are doing, calling protests. Biafrans have made it clear that they will not be part of any street protests, and they are staying away. I want to share with you what is going on in the Zoological Republic. The videos that we came across on what is actually going on, I will share with you for you to get an update on what is happening. Some people have decided to come out to protest as they wanted. And finally, the police, with their hard-handedness, are going their own path. Let's watch and share as you watch.
President Bola Tinubu yesterday met with all heads of security agencies in the country to review the state of the nation amid ongoing protests embarked upon by aggrieved Nigerians, which had turned violent in some parts of the country. The situation in many northern cities had become precarious, with daily reports of violence since the protests against hardship and hunger began some 5 days ago countrywide. Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa, who briefed newsmen at the end of the security meeting, described as a treasonable offense the hoisting of the Russian flag by protesters in some Nigerian towns. Musa also ruled out the possibility of a coup to remove the democratically elected government of Tinubu, saying the military will frustrate any such undemocratic move.
2 hours meeting with Mr. President, we explained to him in details the current situation on ground since the riots have started. And what we realized is that, yes, initially people said it was a peaceful riot, but we have warned against it because we realized that there are individuals that are willing to take advantage of it to cause mayhem, and we can see clearly what has happened since it has commenced. Criminals have taken over, a lot of looting, a lot of stealing and all sorts happening. And besides that, we're also aware that I'm seeing, all of us have seen it, where some foreign flags have been flown within the sovereignty of Nigeria, and that is totally unacceptable. We are warning in clear terms, and the president has also said we should convey this, that we will not accept anybody, any individual flying any foreign flag in Nigeria. That is treasonable offense, and it will be viewed and treated as such. So nobody should allow himself to be used by any individual. Also, the issue of coups. Nigeria is a sovereign nation. Nigeria is a democratic nation. All security agencies are here to defend democracy and ensure that democracy continues to strive. We will not accept anyone pushing or taking any action, seemingly or for whatever reason, to want to push for any change of government. Democracy is what we stand for. Democracy is what we continue to defend. For those of them flying flags, if you see a lot of them are kids being pushed to do that. We're following up with those ones that are sponsoring them, those that are pushing them, because you know the flags were also made. We identified those areas, and we're going to take serious action against that.
All right, Rufai, the CDS has spoken. I hear there's a security briefing later on today at 11 a.m. at the Defense Headquarters. Hopefully we'll bring reports from that. But your take on this story?
Yes. The CDS has spoken. President Tinubu had a security meeting yesterday with security officials. And a couple of things we just have to set straight. The government must go after the perpetrators of that heinous crime against our sovereignty. With the Russian flag they are hoisting and all sorts of manipulation they are trying to do, we must go out there and go hard on them. This protest was never about Russia in the first place. It was about the hunger and the suffering of a lot of people. And people have a right to ventilate. So anybody trying to use any sort of manipulation of some sort should be careful, because the state will go after you hard, and we will come out here and support the state when they go after you hard. And I'm happy they've arrested the tailor, and the tailor better start speaking. But also the state too had not done well. All of these violent tides too started when the state started using some of their, hoodlums and surrogates to start violence in some other parts of the country. We saw government officials across the states perpetrating this violence. And let's not deceive ourselves. Violence does not solve the problem. Protesters are protesting peacefully. You have no right to be able to infiltrate them. We all remember how a serving minister was taking an protest march within the FCT. Secondly, those that are now using this to settle political scores, they should also be warned, because people have also settled political scores, not today. And for those that are now trying to twist the narrative, that, we told you not to protest. People have a right to protest. Don't elections turn violent in this country? Do we say because elections turn violent in this country, we should never hold elections? It was a bedlam in Lagos and other parts in the last election. But it's people's right to vote. So it's also people's right to protest.
All right.
So when they go the route of violence, they should know that it always has a repercussion. And most importantly, I think what is coming out of the North calls for attention as regards the poverty situation. Look at children being used to perpetrate all sorts of evil.
That's right. All right. Dr. Abati.
Okay, I've argued that the president's intervention would seem to have doused tensions, reduced, lowered the temperature of protests in Nigeria. But this seems to have been the case in the southern part of Nigeria, from Lagos to the south-south. However, in the north, in Kano, Kaduna, Yobe, and other states of the north, some protesters are still on the streets. Well, that I think is very unfortunate, because I see that within the context of the impact of the president's speech. Now, the president has done well, I repeat, the president has done well by calling an emergency meeting of the national security system with all the heads of the various agencies present, from the military to customs to immigration, for them to give the president an a direct report in terms of what transpired. And they did yesterday. So in that regard, I think, okay, I didn't know they would meet yesterday, but this morning, having been reported that they met, I think the president has acted well in that regard. However, what are the big elephants in the room? Number one is the Russian flags that we are told are being carried around Kano, and people say, we want Russia, welcome Russia, welcome Russia. Look, those people carrying those flags are imbeciles. They are idiots. They must be told very clearly that they are guilty of treason. And when they are punished, because we have been told that the police have arrested many of them, let nobody come here and talk about human rights. When you raise a foreign flag against your country, it is the very height of insurrection against your own country. But it is good, as I've argued in my column in this day newspaper today, that the Russian embassy has said, we have nothing about this, we don't know anything about this. Okay, what, as a student of international law and diplomacy, what do I expect the Russian embassy to say? They will play the right kind of diplomacy. But it is a warning to the Nigerian government. It is frightening for the Nigerian government. Now the Russians, they are in aluminium smelter company in South-South. Ikolabasi. They are there. They used to be in Ajakuta Steel, but they were pushed out, by a government before Tinubu's. Okay, so what is their interest in the matter? Diplomacy, yes. You will say you are not part of it, but do you think that the Russians will not be happy that with their influence in Burkina Faso, in Mali, in Niger, and the Wagner mercenaries having influence in West Africa, would they not be happy that some people are carrying flags of Russia inside Nigeria? No, that's unacceptable. And General Christopher Musa the Chief of Defense Staff, spoke well by saying that the military of Nigeria will not stand idle by to allow that kind of situation to happen inside Nigeria. Because why it is dangerous is that it will pitch us against Ukraine. We get wheat from Russia. We get wheat from that axis. We get fertilizer from Russia. Is Russia trying to extend its influence in Nigeria? That is the dangerous question that we should worry about. But in any case, you know, there are other issues. There are other issues. Professor Akinterewa says those people who were carrying Russian flags are from Republic of Niger. So why should Republic of Niger people come and carry Russian flags inside Nigeria, if that is the case? So this is something that government should take seriously, and all the security agencies are saying they will take it seriously. Okay, so I think that is a positive development. I guess that with time, in the northern part of the country, good reason will prevail. After all, the same northern leaders who said the youths had the right to protest have also come on the back of President Tinubu's address yesterday to say, well, calm down, allow the government, allow peace. Insurrection of any part, of any type, is not the solution. And the military has spoken well by saying that they have a duty to defend the integrity of this country, and they will do their duty.
Well, zero tolerance to external influence in the sovereign nation of Nigeria. Absolutely zero tolerance. And that's why I'm very glad that the president has responded very swiftly to that by inviting the service chiefs and agents to come for a security meeting. It was a closed-door meeting yesterday, but briefing, or at least reports from General C.G. Musa, who is the CDS, Chief of Defense Staff, gives the assurance that they were not going to take any of it. Also good is the fact that the Russian embassy has come out to remove themselves completely from what's happening in Kano State, in Kaduna and some parts of the north. Of course, when you hear what's happened in terms of the hoisting of the Russian flag, you cannot but make that link with the neighboring country of Niger Republic and how Russia was, assisted them in the overthrow of President Mohamed Bazoum of Niger Republic, and now a military junta is currently ruling there. And so it brings many reasons for concerns, and rightly so. And that is why I'm very glad that they were saying it very boldly here, zero tolerance to that. The military has said that they're not going to accept any of that. It is treasonable. Later today at 11 a.m., they're going to have a press briefing and to give some form of information with regards to what's going on and how they hope to tackle it. Also, it raises many questions, which we've talked about a number of times with regards to the North. I want to point out something he said, which is quite important. The use of children when it comes to things like that. We saw the footage yesterday where a child was holding stones. And whilst we talked about it raising concerns around the level of poverty and how even children can see what's happening and now coming out to say that they don't, like the governor, etc., or the government. It also says, it speaks to the fact that, to be honest, a lot of these children are being used by adults for their...
My fellow Biafrans, after watching this clip, I want you to be the judge for yourself. Go to the comment section and write on the comment section, tell me what you feel about this. I thank God for the Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Biafra. Biafran people are going to defend themselves. If it's going to take everyone out to defend Biafra, we will do that till the last man standing. May Chukwu Okike Abiyama continue to guide our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa. May Chukwu Okike Abiyama continue to guide our Liberation Army. Biafra government, peace, progress, unity and equity. We move airborne. Thank you, as they say.